our budget forum. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the event of an emergency, visitors are advised that they may exit this room from the one side door which leads directly into the parking lot. In the event of an emergency, everyone is asked to move away from the building and do not... What? Wait a minute.
Yep.
Do not attempt to leave in your automobile since this may cause traffic problems and block incoming emergency vehicles.
You didn't do roll
You
call.
want to do roll call?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I'm switching it up tonight.
All right.
Paulette O'Frias,
Here.
Judy
I've
Fouché,
done that.
Brian Tobin, Scott Latham,
Here.
John Crean.
Here.
So this is kind of your meeting because we have no action to take. And what we do is generally open it to see if anybody wants to make any comments as we prepare for our budget season,
Yeah, so
I think.
That's pretty much it.
the budget process is it's a many-month process in school districts, and it starts very early, probably before we even know what type of finances we're getting from the state. So as we start the process, we try to get input from our community about the budget and things that are in it or would like to be in it. I mean, the truth is, at this point in time, we don't have answers on anything because we don't really know what our funding will be from the state. We don't know, that stuff, none of that has come out, what the tax levy might be or those things. But it's a good time for us to gather information. So at this time, if there's anybody that would like to share anything about the budget, please
We just
do.
ask you to come up to the microphone. Give us your name, social security number, telephone number, date of birth. Oh, it's you.
Hi. So for those of you
Name.
who don't know, I'm Marta Thomas, and I have a kindergartner in the Southold Elementary School. And I'm here tonight with some other mothers, and we wanted to speak about the fact that the elementary school does not currently offer a second language for our children. And so we wanted to kind of go over with you guys a few facts about that and see, I'm not sure if you'll discuss with us tonight your feelings, but see if there's anything being done about it, and if Southold has a plan to possibly add another language. So based on that, as I'm sure you know, 32% of Southold's school students are Spanish speaking. My daughter currently is coming home and is really excited about Spanish, says, "Mom, I can speak Spanish." She has a classroom where I think she has English as a second language. The teacher comes in quite a bit. So she seems really excited about it and interested in it and wanting to learn about it differently than when I went to Southold. I think we started in 7th grade. I don't remember really being all that excited, and you can definitely tell it's different when they're younger. So some of the, just so you guys know, if you don't already know, evidence has shown in support of learning a second language is overwhelming. Studies have shown that bilingualism has numerous cognitive and personal benefits for children, including improved memory, improved problem-solving skills, improved overall academic performance. Studies have shown that students who study a second language tend to perform better academically overall. Improved memory and concentration, enhanced cultural awareness. Learning a second language can broaden children's perspective and appreciation for different cultures, and that's the part that I definitely see in my own daughter. And later on, improved career prospects, which obviously that would, as they take it later, of course, hopefully they would all learn. And we just feel, in addition to the benefits for our children, a Spanish second language program would also improve the cultural fabric of our community. Southold has a diverse population with a large Hispanic community, and being able to communicate in Spanish would facilitate better understanding and connection among all of our residents. So we're definitely for a second language. Spanish seems like that would be the obvious choice. I don't know that I would be, if it wasn't, I think I'd still be excited if it was any language, but that seems the obvious since that's the second, largest language. And
A little history, having been around here for a long time, because there wasn't too many years ago that there was a group of parents with the same request, and fellow board members can jump in. And And some of the consideration was, truly, it wasn't a financial consideration. Everybody thinks it was that. It was, and this is where I would suggest that the administration really needs, not the board, the administration has to have the conversation. If I recall correctly, a lot of the concern was, what part of the day are you going to take away from these kids or who already have so many pullouts? So do we remove something else to have this English as a second language? Because as you guys know, as parents of elementary school students, their days are so full right now. So there was that question, how to fit it in to a daily schedule. So as a compromise, if you will, we had an enrichment program. And I think it probably has gone by the wayside. It could have been because of COVID. And it was English as a second language. It was either before or after school, but it was as an enrichment program. And the parents and the staff at the elementary at that time felt that it was a compromise that worked because, again, it just went back to the school day.
Okay.
And do you want to take away the music or the this or the that? Because there's only so many hours in the day. So that's just a brief, I don't want to interrupt you. I
understand
appreciate, your research on this.
Okay.
And I don't think anybody, I can't speak for anybody else here, has ever been opposed to it. It was more, how do we make it happen without it being over, and I know other schools do it, but we also offer a lot that other schools don't offer.
Okay.
At an elementary level. So the enrichment program seemed to work, but you could talk to Ellen too and find out. You remember that, Patty?
Yeah, we did do that.
Enrichment options do go out via email yesterday. Spanish is on there. It's 3rd grade and up.
Okay.
It's 3rd grade through 6th grade. I have a child in 2nd grade, has been doing outside Spanish since she was in pre-K.
Okay.
And
Fair enough.
right there, I think, and if I just might make a comment, I think that's the other issue is what's the correct way to bring that kind of education into, especially early childhood. You know me, I'm an early childhood person. And, do we have, is it something where you make it a separate standalone kind of thing? And if you do we even have people who are truly qualified from a curriculum standpoint, if that's what you want to do, which is curriculum? Or is there a way to more intuitively and organically just bring some of that immersion of learning a second language into our classrooms by supporting our teachers in a way that maybe they can do that? And I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's more, I don't speak Spanish fluently, but in a early childhood program, there are ways to organically bring those kinds of things in. And, for our younger children, that may work better. So, how can we do that? And those are some, to me, from an educational standpoint, more concerning questions for me. I would hate to see us bring in a second language for elementary students and then make it be another thing that's not fun and organic. I don't know, that's just,
Okay.
if
And
that
we've been
makes
kind of
sense.
told that a lot of that would go to you guys as a board or to the superintendent to figure out. I don't know enough about.
Oh,
what
yeah,
the
yeah,
kids above kindergarten are even taking. So I understand that. Thanks for sharing. I think the least would be for us to have an after-school program, and hopefully it could, but the best solution obviously would somehow to add it, but I don't know the logistics of how that works.
Right,
I
right.
assume you guys,
Yeah.
would figure that out. So just finishing kind of in what I had, I just wanted to say that the elementary age studies have shown that younger children have an easier time learning a language. So that being said, I just feel like we should be starting soon, as soon as we can. And because children at this age show better mental flexibility, more creativity, divergent thinking skills, and improved listening and memory skills, kids are able to process language early on. So I just feel it's really important, the excitement that my daughter has. And Mom, I can already speak it today. I asked her right before I came. I'm like, do you want to speak? She goes, Mom, I already know it. And then she's giving me all these words. Like, she is really into it. And I think a lot of the other moms that I've talked to are like, my son just came home and said this. So I feel like it's really important. And I also feel like for the Latino community, we're constantly having them learn English as a first language. And it would be nice if we could be speaking to them, speaking to their parents, if we all could just be learning it. And I know we offer more than other schools, but as far as the North Fork goes, I think Southold is one of the only schools that doesn't offer it. So I feel a little bit like we don't want our kids to be coming in and having less of an opportunity as other kids because they just didn't have it offered, which I wasn't aware. I didn't even realize that. And then someone's like, oh, no, we already have Spanish. I'm like, what? Southold doesn't have it. And that kind of is what broadened my view on offering it. And I think that's it. So I'm hoping that you guys would be open to it and figuring it out, maybe talking to another school and sharing a teacher. I know that some of the other schools are offering a smaller, it's not a full day program, it's only a couple periods, and then the teacher is shared between other schools. So that is just kind of one of my other suggestions to maybe bringing it in. Okay, that's it.
Could we ask our administrator to look into, especially what's happening in our local districts? In the local district, especially at the early elementary and the elementary level?
Sharing positions is always a great thing if we can do it.
I'd actually like to add something.
If you want to, you could come up to, yeah, that'd be great. I was just going to ask if anybody else wanted to.
I'm Katie Wallace. I have children in kindergarten and second grade. I echo everything that Marta shared. And just to that point, to consider what other schools are doing, I also would like to call out that Pecana Community School has a Spanish immersion program. And I know in conversation with parents, there are parents, especially at the preschool level, who have made that decision to Southold families to send their kids to Pecana Community School. And that is a factor that's in consideration. And so I also do encourage the emphasis on that early beginning in language, because when families are making those decisions, and even, thinking about where families might purchase a home and which town they're choosing to look at, they're looking at kindergarten specifically, first grade. They're looking really at the early childhood curriculum to see what's included and what's not. So I definitely think there could be an impact there on even enrollment. And I'd also just like to offer, I'm sure myself and other parents would be happy to help if there's research that we could do. I mean, if it's not a question of finances and it's a question of figuring out the how, I think we are very motivated to help present different options of do research. What are people doing in other districts that work? I think that we could help there in doing that kind of research.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else care to say anything? Very quick meeting, I guess. We start our regular budget stuff next month, I think, right? I don't have the calendar in front
The
of me.
budget meetings usually are
Budget
in
meetings
March,
start
beginning of
the end
March.
of first part of March. Okay. But Dr. Morrow will work on it with this team.
Sure.
To see.
Yep,
what
and this is the
options
reason we
are.
have this meeting a couple months before we really start our budget meetings, is, that gives us time to look at things.
Invited to the other budget.
They're always
Yeah,
open.
they're
All
open
our
meetings.
meetings are
They're
always
all open meetings, and everything that goes on at them is posted on
You
our
can come
website.
all the time. Usually it's
don't you
us and Mr. Keel.
Attendance will be taken.
And we
Sellout
talk
crowd
for the
here.
camera. So we love to have people here because we don't know what's new, what's going on.
Check the
in
sign or the
thinking.
website, because sometimes we hold them in the auditorium if we have student achievements and things like that, because we need the room. We like it here because it's more intimate, people feel more comfortable talking than in that huge auditorium. You would have loved to be in the auditorium. Thank you all for coming. We don't need a motion because it wasn't a real meeting. right?
If you guys find out
Okay.
any information or anything like that, please feel free to share it, I mean, we're more than happy to look into it as districts, and in some ways, I have easier access to some of that stuff than you guys might by calling another superintendent. But if there are things that you find out, please email them to me and share them, then we're not doubling up our work, okay?